All right, so quick demonstration. All right, so let's check a quick demonstration of synthesis and decomposition reactions. So for the first reaction, I'm going to take some magnesium metal and heat it in the air with oxygen. Oof. And as you just saw, that was a very exothermic reaction. So we just witnessed the reaction between magnesium and oxygen, which is a synthesis reaction because we synthesized a compound, magnesium oxide. That is an ionic compound. It is a type of salt. So that is composed of magnesium and oxygen. So as you noticed, when the magnesium and oxygen formed new ionic bonds together, the reaction released a lot of energy as light and heat. So synthesis reactions, when bonds are made, is very exothermic. So when bonds are created, energy is released. Now on the flip side, over here, I have a electrolysis apparatus. And as you can see, I have 2 test tubes filled all the way to the top with this solution, which has sodium hydroxide in the water to make it electrically conductive. And if you notice, when I apply an electrical current, we get the formation of 2 gases. And I'm going to let this run so we can develop more gas. And to prove to you that the water is not boiling, there's the water. It's not boiling. We are actually creating bubbles of 2 gases. We don't know what the gases are at the moment, but we can do a test for those after we have enough. So let's see if I lower the current. Maybe we can check to see how much of the gases we have. All right. I'll apply a bit more. All right, and there's something important happening. If you notice, we have about 2 milliliters of one of the gases, and over here, if I knock some of those bubbles out of the way, maybe you could see, we have 4 milliliters of gas. So we have twice as much of that gas as this gas. So we have 4 milliliters of one gas, 2 milliliters of another. Now to test what gas these actually are, I'm going to keep letting these fill up. Okay, so now I have about enough of the gases that we can check to see what they are. So to check to see what gases we have here, I'm going to light them on fire to see what happens. So going to light this wood rod on fire and see what happens when I check the test tube that had more gas in it. All right, we saw a small, we saw a small explosion showing that there was the formation of hydrogen. So we had twice as much hydrogen as, let's check this one. If you notice, this is barely burning, but when I put it in here, it relights, which means that this test tube that we had half as much of was oxygen. So that means that we decomposed by adding energy. We broke water molecules apart into twice as much hydrogen as oxygen, which is how we know that the chemical formula for water is H2O. So to break chemical bonds, energy needs to be added. Like in this case, we used electricity. So when bonds are broken, energy must be absorbed.